referring to the next-door neighbor of Jared and Jennifer, Christina Hill, consider the source. I don't think he was calling into question the veracity necessarily of what she was saying or the character of that particular person. Perhaps Jerry had evaluated who she was in Jennifer's life and how much literal, physical contact she had in this entire exercise. This was Jennifer Martell's best friend by all accounts. They watched TV all the time. She babysat Ariana from time to time. They let each other's dogs out. She was involved in this nightmare physically, probably more than Phoebe, not probably, more than Phoebe and Jerry were.
Certainly at the end.
And now she has made it clear on Mutt and Maloney, and probably before this to the Remy family, she is now an advocate for domestic violence victims. So in that regard, maybe Jerry's not suggesting, oh, she's a liar. He's just saying...
But he is, because the big charge is that they pressured...
Phoebe.
Phoebe, not Jerry. Phoebe pressured Jennifer to not to renew the restraining order, to drop the restraining order. That's the charge.
Right.
And Remy refutes that unequivocally.
But why would Jennifer Martell lie?
Well, that's the question. He says, consider the source.
I have.
Generally, that means the source is not credible. She seems incredibly credible to me.
And why would she lie?
So why would he demean her in that regard? He could refute it and say, listen, I don't know where she comes up with that, but we did not pressure her. That is false. He could stick to his story, and he has, but he's trying to impugn her, and I don't understand why.
I don't get it, because I don't know.
And we talked about whether that helps you or hurts you. That hurts you, and maybe it hurt him with John Henry. Maybe it hurt him with Linda Pizzuti. Maybe that's the thing that turned the tide, at least, at the top.
I don't think that was a game changer, certainly for Pizzuti and John Henry, who were in Liverpool worrying about that.
I know two or three others.
I know one other one that bothered.
Why do you think the Globe, the whole story, Dino, they refer to us in our interview.
Yes.
They don't mention our past once. It's the first time ever.
Whoa.
There's like 10 paragraphs there where they don't go into our past or, demean us, which is amazing because this interview made a difference. He also said, tell me what we did wrong. Tell me what we're guilty of. And I've been supportive of Remy. I think he should stay in the booth. I can give you a list of things he did wrong. I have no trouble doing that.
Looking back,
but he made that list too, did he not?
He did, but then
he said, yes, we enabled him. Yes, we made some wrong decisions.
On Friday afternoon, the Globe.Boston.com story headline was Remy, tell me what we're guilty of.
Right.
What are we guilty of? Something like that. And I think that's pretty... That's pretty arrogant.
Also, I don't. He says he doesn't know
anything.
He doesn't know if he'd do anything differently if he could do it all over again, which was an odd quote to me at the time.
That is odd, but that's not offensive.
Yeah, I think I saw texts and people. I got tweets. People said he wouldn't do anything differently if he can look back and do it again. He wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, but that obviously it makes no sense.
He wouldn't pay for the kids' coke and steroids. And,
that makes no sense.
No sense.
But I think that interview did change some people's minds, Dino, and apparently it changed John Henry's.
I don't think so. I think it's a show. I think Henry and the Globe and the editorial got together and say, how can we look like you have autonomy and John Henry has nothing to do with this? On Tuesday, John Henry said, we love and support Jerry Remy. We are glad he's back. And over the weekend, the Globe gently pushed him out the door by saying, Remy should understand his presence in the booth is living.
One way to prove that, to prove your theory, is... let's hear it from Henry again today. Let's hear from Henry again. On Tuesday, you said he should stay. On Saturday, you said he should go. Which is it, John Henry?
So you think that they thought that this would be... that Henry wouldn't be involved in this? He thought the public would think this wasn't a Henry thing? This Globe thing?
Yes, I think they want us to think, whether it's true or not, that John Henry has no sway over the editorial board. And this appears on the surface, in spite of whatever you think happened between Tuesday's ringing endorsement and this weekend's editorial, that John Henry thinks this and the editorial board thinks that, and never the twain shall meet. Doesn't that appear to be better for the newspaper if we think that?
But nobody thinks that. He's the publisher of the paper.
Well, he's trying to make you
his name is on top of that story.
But did you think that when you read this?
Yeah.
You don't think Henry had... They didn't tell Henry at all?
I think he's aware of it.
Right? You think he just says, that's your opinion, I sign off on it either way?
Yeah, well, if he's smart, that's what he would do.
I know, but
All right, well, we have called him and invited him to join us, correct? Lumpy, you've called Henry?
Yes, we did.
He probably won't, but he should join somebody. I mean, Nesson.
Well, can we get somebody from Nesson, McGrail, or Werner? Or
Nesson's laying low.
anybody?
Why? So he should join
Well, Tom
some
Warner
of...
said to Dan Shaughnessy in an email, out of respect for this situation, I am not commenting on this any longer. Anymore.
Well, it's been moved forward now.
Henry should comment on it. Just to clarify, that's all. Just to clarify, John, you know, what you said on Tuesday, does that still hold? What you said to Channel 5 on Tuesday, or did this interview he did with us change your mind? Did something else change your mind? Because clearly the Globe editorial page with your name on top has a different take than the one you gave Channel 5.
On the Saturday before opening day. It's a pretty, I mean, if that was in December, it'd be a different story.
Well, he has to do it because the game is, you know, Remy's in the booth as we speak, getting ready to broadcast.
And my guess is nothing is going to change. And more than that, what I think I know to be true is Henry's not going to comment. They're going to let this thing just happen and unfold organically, starting with a broadcast today on Nesson. And won't the proof of the pudding, God, I hate that expression, won't we find out what John Henry really thinks if he makes no move whatsoever between now and, let's take it past home opener on Friday? The answer to that is yes. If he doesn't remove, if he doesn't gently shove Remy out of the broadcast booth sometime before or during or after the opening day here at Fenway Park on Friday, then I believe what he said on Tuesday is what he wants to have happen.
Right.
Jerry is welcome back to the bosom of the Boston Red Sox.
I also think Remy was talking about, actually the texter just said that, previous girlfriends too, when he said consider the sources. It wasn't just a singular. He did say consider the sources. I think he meant
Yeah, but
the guy
that's fine. But when you say consider the sources, the implication is
They're lying.
that they're not credible.
Right, they're shaky.
And I don't know, I mean, I've read every word of the, you know, every story written here. I don't know anyone who has implied that they are not credible. Do you?
Well, they have police records to back them up, too.
I mean, it was the first I heard that there was a question about the credibility of the victims of Jared Remy. That was the first I heard of it. Maybe I missed something.
No, I don't know anything about it.
Clearly, I question their sanity because they're with this monster. But beyond that, the veracity of their stories, I don't know anybody who was questioning it. So,
But theoretically, could you not question the sources but not be questioning the veracity? What if you're questioning, as I said before, their slanted viewpoint? Let me give you an example that perhaps we can relate to. What if there were a media critic in this town who loved a certain group of people and predicted that they would do well? In an effort to buoy that prediction and make that prediction come true, they did all they possibly could to support and love and honor that group of people over there. Now, it doesn't mean that they're lying.
Well,
it just means... I know. It doesn't mean that they're lying. It just means that they have
They're in love.
They're in love. They have a tainted point of view. They are so in the tank on that side. Could you not make the case that Christina Hill and Jennifer were so close that her viewpoint of everybody's role in this thing, and I'm not talking about Jared because everybody knows what a dirtball he was and how wrong he was, but that her viewpoint of everybody on the periphery of this entire nightmare might not fit into her way of thinking because she is so emotionally attached to and actually physically involved with what happened that night in August.
Maybe, but it still doesn't. Does that mean that she's making up the text messages and the back and forth and protecting with Phoebe and about Martell the night she was killed?
Well, let me ask you this: Do you think Dale has an accurate viewpoint of what and who Mutt is?
No, actually, I do.
No, you don't.
I think he's the one guy who
don't.
understands.
My point is that Dale's viewpoint of Mutt might be a little slanted to one side because there's a personal affectation for what Mutt and Dale's role was. Dale looks at Mutt and says, that's the guy who took my job, so I understand that. So if I looked at Dale and said, well, hey, Dale said Mutt's a really bad guy, I might say, well, consider the source.
It's like you and Russillo.
Which means, I'm not saying Dale's lying, I'm just saying consider Dale's dog in this fight.
Sure.
Hill's dog in this fight was her relationship with Jennifer.
But isn't that the case with everybody? Didn't everybody say Jennifer's a wonderful person, Jared's a dirtbag? Even Remy and Phoebe would admit that.
Yeah, but nobody knew Jennifer more than Christina Hill. and knew what she was going through. She heard her head being bashed against the wall night after night.
I just think it's the first and only time I've heard the credibility of the victims here or the witnesses. I mean, consider what she saw. You want to talk about considering putting yourself in someone's shoes. That was the first time, and I don't think it went over well. Remy with us on Friday saying, consider the source, was the first time I heard any victim/witness question or their credibility questioned, including, I mean, that story, the guy worked on it for 6 months. It's 8,000 words. If these were, liars or just questionable people, I think it would have come through in that story.
I have a question for you. And this is a broadcasting question. Is there a shelf life? Is there a turnoff factor to the Remy story? Now, the phone lines would indicate there is not. But yet I've heard a number of people say, all right, nothing new can be said about this. But I guess there can be based on the editorial. Is there a diminishing return on this story until something else happens?
Well, sure. And
in your estimation?
Yeah, and that helps Remy. That actually helps Remy's case. I think people start to get weary of it, and they say, oh, let's move on. And Remy gets sort of a more support that way. To your point, well, now the story goes away for a couple of weeks, people will not pay attention as much, and people will say, oh, Remy's doing TV. It's okay. So that's why I don't think he gets fired this week.
I agree. I think this thing just kind of plays out and
Till the next story.
But Remy,
Right.
John Henry knows what the next story is going to be. He knows what they're working on.
I don't think he knows when it's going to be.
But he knows what they're working on. He knows what was taken out of that big story.
And what if there is no news story until the trial takes
Then
place?
why is the Globe calling for his head?
To show that they are not commanded and controlled by John Henry.
Well, yeah, but that still doesn't explain why they want him out.
Well, Jerry, they weren't exactly adamant about it. They weren't like pounding
gently out. They want to push gently to the
push them out.
side.
All right, let's get some phone calls in here before we take a break as quickly as we can. Rich and Malden, go. Rich.
Hi, good morning, guys. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I was wondering, obviously the Remy house behind closed doors was a very dysfunctional house. And, John, you had mentioned that the poor neighbor next door had her head being bashed against the wall. Has there ever been any reports of Jerry Remy striking his wife? Because sometimes the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
None that I'm aware of.
No.
None that I'm aware of. Let's talk to Mike in Brockton. Mike, what do you have for us?
Hey, how you doing, fellas?
Hi, Mike.
Just a couple things. One, I really, I had a real problem with Jerry on Friday. One, it was, he never talked about, when they talked about the daughter, and he said, he's still, I told him how his daughter's doing, this and that. He never talked about if his son had remorse for what happened. He never talked about that. And, for the woman who came on, he said, well, consider the source. I don't care if the woman's a crackhead, okay? She saw her friend be murdered by him. So it's not like something she didn't see. She actually saw it. Well, all this stuff is lies. Is she lying about the actual...
He didn't say all this stuff is lies.
He didn't say that, but the implication, I went back and listened a second to try to figure out what he was talking about. And other than Hill, I don't know who else he could be talking about. And other than Remy, I don't know anyone else who questioned Hill's motives.
And I know legally he probably can't do it, but it looks bad to throw that out there in the Globe statement. And then with us and not give any specifics.
And by the way,
it looks bad.
To Mike, I asked Jerry, does Jared show any contrition? And it was a brief answer, but he said, yes, he does. Greg's in New Bedford. Greg, you're next with DNC.
Hey, guys, I was just going to say, I think it's kind of I don't know if someone's brought this up yet, but I think it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation with Jerry, because, they're calling him an enabler and saying that he, that he allowed and inadvertently participated in some of these things, I guess, if you will. But if he would have done the tough love disownment thing early on, like, hey, my son's a monster and does this, he's going to be getting flack from that end saying that, oh, well, if he would have been more of a father, maybe this wouldn't happen. I don't see how, obviously, I get it, He was giving him money and things like that. But, it's his son, and maybe, we don't know what's going on the inside. Maybe maybe he's talking to his dad, telling him, Dad, I messed up, or whatever, feeding him some kind of line, and Jerry feels bad and gives him money. I don't know. But I don't think you can pin it on Jerry, because it's his kid. What is he supposed to do?
I would just say this. If you give your already established psychopathic son money, and he's using that money to put steroids in his body and cocaine in his body and drugs in his body, you bear some responsibility.
And I'm sure the moment he said, I am done financing you from A to Z, that would have fixed what is broken with Jared Remy.
No, but we're talking about responsibility.
Then he would have probably started robbing gas stations to get money to get his steroids.
But then it's not. Does Jerry Remy hold responsibility for that? No.
But here's the bottom line. It seems to me, I don't know this for a fact, my guess is that any course of action by Jerry and Phoebe Remy, whether it's complete enabling or complete cutting him off, would change nothing, would fix nothing that was wrong with the broken brain that Jared Remy has between his ears.
There's only one thing that could have saved Jennifer.
Jail.
Or whoever. He's got 5 or 6.
That'd be a judge.
He beats up girls. That's what he likes to do. That's what he does. And Jerry knew it. So the only thing is a prison.
Here's the only thing, though, Tito.
And they fought tooth and nail and brilliantly to keep him out of jail and free to beat the next woman up.
You're probably right, but we'll never know because they never took the other side, did they? They only went one way the whole time. Fully enabling.
Yeah, what do you think?
I know, but we'll never know because they never did it.
But I know. I know. I mean, look at this.
Well, they did 81 days, and they thought it helped.
Right. But 19 arrests, and nothing changed with this guy. Nothing scared him. He said, I always
Oh, John, you're probably right, John. My point is it sounds like Jerry said they never sent him anywhere.
They never hospitalized him. He was never an inpatient. But as an adult, I should have followed this up and said, you try to hospitalize him because you can't, as Adam Lanza's mother learned. You can't.
You say, hey, we're cutting up your credit cards, you're taking your car away if you don't go there. You can do that. Families do that.
You can, but you can't make him an inpatient.
And why can't I picture Jared Remy saying, oh, you cut my money off? Okay, I'll stop beating women. I'll stop doing steroids.
My point,
I'll stop being an a-hole.
You're flip-flopping on this again. All you've done is flip-flop on this Remy issue. I mean, where are you on this? Because you said at some point you'd let your son go.
I would.
Right, so why didn't they do that?
I'm just suggesting that this was such a lost and broken soul that any course of action from this side of the spectrum to that side of the spectrum would have had no effect on this psychopath.
You're probably right.
And you know where I stand on this? One thing, and that's a jail cell.
Right.
And
well, that's not on. Well, it is on Remy, but it's also on the judges.
Oh, absolutely. The judges who continue to skate on this. Are they mentioned in that Globe editorial? Neil Walker, Linda Conley, Gregory Flynn. These judges who are still,
And I'd like to see somebody at some point, and maybe we can talk to we have Red Sox guys on. I want to know why they hired this guy after he did 81 days in jail. They brought him back at the same job.
It is headlines next with the Ayatollah Minahan.
Later today on Mutt and Merloni.
Hey, it's Lou. Opening day is finally here. Join us at 10 a.m. Mutt and Michael Hawley will be in studio, and I'll join them from Baltimore for the best pregame opening day coverage around. It all starts at 10.
Mutt and Merloni, middays 10 to 2. Sports Radio 93.7 WEEI and WEEI.com. It's time for the Game Day Weather Report, sponsored by ARS Restoration Specialists, the disaster relief choice for property managers and insurance pros throughout New England at ARSserve.com.
We'll wrap it up again. The Red Sox and the Orioles will start the 2014 season at Oriole Park at Camden Yards this afternoon. It's going to be a beautiful day for baseball. First pitch 3:05, 61 degrees, fair amount of sun, back into the mid and upper 50s by the end of the game. Sox and O's today, opening day. I'm Mike Ellis. That's your Game Day weather on 93.7 WEEI.
What's up, New England? It's Michael Hawley. My friends at ARS Restoration Specialists continue to grow, which means great career opportunities for you. ARS is adding project managers who will coordinate the entire commercial project from cleanup to insurance negotiations. They're also looking to bring inside project managers on board to execute the plan once the initial disaster relief call comes in. Have strong relationship building skills? Chat with ARS about opportunities on their business development team. ARS is a great company. Believe me, I know the ownership. Learn more at ARSserve.com.
Hi, welcome to AT&T.
Hi, I've got 2 teenagers,
So you want to save money?
Desperately.
Well, AT&T's best ever pricing for families gives you 10 gigabytes of data to share and unlimited talk and text on 4 lines, all for $160 a month with the nation's most reliable 4G LTE network. Now, do your teens download much?
Obsessively.
Do they talk and text a lot?
Constantly.
You also get a $100 bill credit for every line. There's even plans for up to 10 lines. Sound good?
Insanely.
AT&T. Rethink possible. AT&T reminds you to never text and drive. It can wait.
AT&T is the official wireless provider of the Boston Marathon. Come in now and get the water-resistant and dust-proof Samsung Galaxy S4 Active, the perfect companion for an active lifestyle. Only at AT&T.
Pricing is for 4 phones on AT&T Mobile Share Value with no annual contract. Additional charges for extra devices. Credit offerings March 31st. Activate new line and remain in good standing to receive credit within 3 months. Other charges and restrictions apply. 4G LTE availability vary. Visit a store for details.
Hello, this is Scott for Scots with an important question. Is your grass seed dressed for success? Scott's Tough Builder grass seed is. Scott's wraps each seed in a unique Water Smart Plus coating to help it grow in thicker and greener than grass grown from regular seed. Guaranteed. To learn more, go to Scotts.com. Then put down some Scott's Tough Builder grass seed with Water Smart Plus coating this weekend. Seed your lawn. Seed it.
To keep your new grass growing strong, feed it with Scott's starter food for new grass.
You might already have the reliability of Verizon's 4G LTE network, or maybe you're already enjoying the speed and HD picture quality of 100% fiber optic Verizon Fios, or you just haven't switched to either yet. Well, no matter what you've got, now's your chance to get savings back in your pocket. Just combine a Verizon smartphone and a Fios Quantum Triple Play before April 19th and save $20 a month for 2 years. That's $480 in savings, in addition to other special offers you could qualify for. Plus, there are no annual contracts required. So whether you've got Verizon Wireless, Fios, or neither, you can get a deal. Just add whatever service you're missing and earn big-time savings only Verizon can give you. Hurry and double up and save today. Call, visit, or go online at Verizon.com/double up. Getting the best networks for less. That's powerful. Offer ends April 19th. Register for bill credit by visiting Verizon.com/enroll double up by April 19th. Separate bills required. Activation, upgrade, early termination, and other fees may apply. Coverage details at VerizonWireless.com.
Healthcare reform is here. With it, your business must deal with the increased complexities and burdens of rising costs, taxes, government regulation, and risk. Insperity takes care of all of this and more. Hello, friends. Jim Nance here. If you're worried about healthcare reform, discover Insperity's unique workforce optimization solution, providing administrative relief, big company benefits, reduced liabilities, and a systematic way to improve productivity. Insperity is ready for healthcare reform. Are you? For an executive briefing on healthcare reform from an Insperity Business Performance Advisor, call 1-866-210-7415. One call to Insperity can help your company run better, grow faster, and make more money. It's what we do. Insperity, inspiring business performance.
Hi, I'm James Pratt, founder of 1-800-BUSY-DOG Basement Technologies. If you're like a lot of homeowners right now, you're probably looking for the fastest way to keep your basement dry. So just give us a call at 1-800-BUSY-DOG and let us help you solve your basement problems for good. Find out why thousands of homeowners trust BusyDog to keep their basements dry all year long. And if you call right now, you'll save an additional 10% off our patented waterproofing systems. So reclaim that lost living space in your basement, increase the value of your home, and protect you and your family from the risks of mold and mildew. Call 1-800-BUSY-DOG now and save an additional 10% and find out how fast and inexpensive it is to keep your basement dry for good.
Call 1-800-BUSY-DOG. You never have to worry again.
Here is your headline.
Dennis and Callahan's headlines.
I'll give you a headline.
Headlines with Kirk Minahan on Sports Radio WEEI.
Headlines brought to you by AT&T. They cover more than 99% of all Americans. Rethink possible. And by Precision Fitness Equipment. Shop where the pros do. Precision Fitness Equipment. We see your calls. We'll get to them here as well. Dino, we're going to start with a shooting with a pal of yours in the music biz.
Benzino.
Your buddy Benzino. Benzino. Hip-hop icon Ray Benzino Scott is grateful for his life. So no time to worry about dying when he shot multiple times in Cape-bound traffic on Route 3 Saturday as a hearse was carrying his late mother to her funeral service in Plymouth. He believes that her hand saved him.
Nothing says mourning respectfully like shooting the son of the deceased in the funeral procession.
You hate to spend time with the family.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the uncle in a while, and you got to sit down and talk to him. It's made it so much easier.
Here's what I don't get about. Well, I don't get about 10 things.
Turn that up. Turn that up. Turn that up. What? Come on, G. Come on, Jay.
There's a bunch of stuff I don't get about the story, not the least of which is, why is the hip-hop artist driving a Dodge SUV while the uncle who shot him is driving a Bentley. Shouldn't it be the other way around?
Nephew.
Or nephew shot.
Allegedly, John.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Good question.
They arrested him, though, right away.
Yes, they did. You would have been a king in the rap world. Do you imagine leading a
We have a
gang?
history with Benzino.
I know. Yeah, history.
Benzino was a regular.
History of turtling
in
in the scene.
Not a big fan of ours.
No, but we iron things out. We got along well with him.
It's important.
Of course,
we were scared of him.
Yes, of course, we were hiding underneath the console when he came in. But one of his bodyguards was accused of stabbing Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce, right?
Paul Pierce, Turtle, didn't testify, and the guy walked.
Right.
But Benzino, it wasn't trying to kill him, right? He just shot him in the arm.
Right. Yes. That's all. Just trying to send a message.
Yeah, it's kind of good for business when you get shot and you survive.
Cred.
Gives you more credit.
Street cred.
And when you're 48 years old, isn't it time to think of something else to do besides...
Well, he's also a reality star. You know, he's a star of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the VH1 reality show, which I know you like. It's not a bad show. Here's Benzino talking. Was it Fox Boss? I think it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because my mother was good, you know what I mean? My mother wasn't about this. I'd probably be dead by now if it wasn't for my mother. I had decided that I wanted to mourn my mother away from everybody else.
The Plymouth County District Attorney names Benzino's nephew, 36-year-old Guy Scott, the suspect. Benzino wouldn't comment on that tonight, except to say,
Blood doesn't mean it's love.
So Guy Scott Randolph is to be arraigned today on a charge of assault with the intent to murder. He's the son.
I don't think he was intending to murder. He was just
What do you think his aim is?
Oh, he's that good of a name?
You think he's a marksman? It's like Barry Pepper?
Yeah.
You think he said a prayer and then he shot him in the arm? He's a hip-hop luminary, according to the
He
Herald
is?
today,
A luminary?
Which I didn't know. I didn't know.
Could I have custody of the Bentley if he goes away? You know, just till he gets out. I'll give it back to him.
You will give it back to him?
Did you see they put the hearse, they wrapped the hearse in plastic to preserve the blood stains when it rained?
That makes sense, I guess.
And wrapped it in yellow crime scene tape?
Is there any rap music you like? When you're tooling around in the Dino Mobile?
Not my thing, no.
Nothing?
No.
Jerry?
Yeah, there's a few songs. There's a few crossover, like Kid Rock does a little rapping.
Yeah, but he's not a rapper.
Oh, he likes the Taylor Swift hip-hop version of things.
Do you like
That's
that?
Jerry's thing.
No Eminem? You like any Eminem?
Eminem is an artist, a poet. I'll give him that. Sometimes I'm amazed that he can write those songs, but
Not
they're not
easy
my
to do.
favorite kind of music.
Yeah, sad weekend in television. Sad. We got two people leaving TV.
Eminem? Is he dead?
No, he's not dead yet.
Dino Zeno.
Dino Zeno. Piers Morgan is no longer on CNN.
What am I going to do every night?
I was just getting ready to start watching that show.
Was he on?
He was on one of those o'clocks.
Yeah.
I think he was on at 9 o'clock, where Larry King was on.
If your thing was gun control, you're going to miss Piers Morgan because that's all he did.
Piers signed off here at the end of Friday's show. Here's Piers' farewell to his viewers. Few as they were at CNN.
This is the final Piers Morgan Live. After 3 years, 2 months, 11 days, and over 1,000 shows, I'm departing to spend more time with my cricket bat. We won some, we lost some, but we gave it everything we had, and I've loved every minute. Well, almost every minute. I'd also like to thank you all for watching, even those who implacably disagree with me or just found my funny accent annoying. Regular viewers will know that the issue of gun control has been a consistent and often very controversial part of this show. Now it's down to you. It is your country. These are your gun laws. And the senseless slaughter will only end when enough Americans stand together and cry, enough. I look forward to that day. I also look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you, and God bless America. Oh, and while I'm at it, God bless Great Britain too. Good night.
Go back there.
Here's a problem with Piers Morgan.
Pompous ass.
Every story I read said that the gun control stuff hurt him. It did, but if he was good and entertaining and funny and combative, it would have been fine. You said, "Oh, we disagree on gun control,"
and you bring in people who disagree with you.
Promise
You
he
battle them.
Promise he was terrible.
You're a terrible interviewer.
Right.
That's right.
And that leads
terrible interview. I think he was faking that accent. Obviously, he was British, but he was exaggerating it.
Oh, it's like the guys down at Epcot Center. If you go to like the World in Italy, you eat the Italian restaurant. It's from like Albany. He's got that big, thick Italian accent.
Can't we deport him? Can we deport him? I mean, his little work visa must be up, right?
I guess we could.
Yeah.
You think Obama's going to deport Piers Morgan?
No.
Probably not.
He's got a whole summer schedule of Long Island cookouts with, Howie Hampton's.
Wouldn't it be ironic if he died in like a random drive-by shooting?
Benzino shoots him.
Benzino's nephew shoots him.
I mean, you can't even pay attention for 60 seconds.
And she goes as well. Chelsea Handler announced yesterday that she is ending her talk show, Dino, on E! It's over.
Oh, she has a talk show?
Please. I know you have a season pass on your DVR. Chelsea Handler, Jerry, Dino, gone. She's looking for bigger opportunities. She feels like she has outgrown the E! Television network. So she departs as well. So goodbye to Chelsea Handler.
Miss them both.
And her bitching about I'll never find a man. And all the women say, I understand where you're coming from, sister, that whole act. Women love her. It eludes me, but she's gone.
Well, I have to come here and tolerate this nonsense.
Box office, Noah, number one. $44 million, much more than the people predict. They got to figure this out at some point. Religious movies right now are huge. People are going to see this. It did well despite the fact that a lot of religious people were rather unhappy with the inaccuracies.
Well, that's a vocal minority, now, isn't it?
Was it like Lone Survivor? Did they change some of the story?
Did you change?
Yeah, it never rained. They had Harvey predicted it was going to rain 40 days and 40 nights. It didn't. The ark never floated.
So the people who criticize it think it's true that it actually happened?
Well, they weren't happy that Shaq played Noah in the movie. They feel like there's no way that was right. That's headlines brought to you. See, Dean, look what time it is.
Nice
brought to you by AT. Let me real quickly say hello to Riley Barnes, who tweeted at me. This cute little girl this weekend said she's the biggest Minahan fan there is, and she loves headlines. Thank you, Riley. Sweet little girl.
How old is Riley?
She's probably looks like she's about 9 or 10 years old. She sent a great little picture on Twitter. Cute little girl.
Well, that's great, but a 9-year-old should not be listening to what you are spewing.
Why not?
You think it's funny when you talk about giving it a grab and
leave her alone.
spanking it?
No, I don't. I never talk about that. I've never done that in my life.
You changed.
That's this weekend. There's more light than darkness when it comes to that.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's
Brought to you by
coming
AT&T.
Something I never talk about is Monday, May 12th, 7th Annual Tame the Tigers, presented by Foxwoods Resort and Casino. You should understand the reason I'm mentioning this today. Midnight tonight is the deadline to sign up if you want to be entered in the incentive-laden. You will have a luxury stay at Foxwoods if you sign up early. You can sign up after today, but only until midnight tonight if you sign up to play and tame the Tigers. And by the way, I should point out that every single dollar goes to the Patient Activities Fund for children undergoing treatment at the Jimmy Fund Clinic. So sign up before midnight tonight. You will be entered in a drawing to have a luxury stay at Foxwoods Resort and Casino. TameTheTigers.org. The Pines Course at the International on Monday, May 12th. Quick timeout. Back to your phone calls. We will reassess opening day. And I will tell you this. I witnessed genius this weekend.
Thank you.
And no, it had nothing to do with you. I witnessed genius this weekend, and I also had a revelation about performance art.